Okay, yeah, we can start.
Okay, perfect. Do you mind tilting the camera down a little bit just so I can see your whole face?
Is that okay?
Yep, that's perfect. Do you want to start out by just introducing yourself and just tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, you see, I'm an engineer by profession, as a matter of fact. And, since my childhood, I used to have, intuitions. I used to have intuitions. I'll give you one episode when I was in the class 10th. I was very poor in my history and geography. So I told my mother that, you see, it was probably Friday evening, and I told my mother that, look, I am very good in all the other subjects, but history and geography I'm very poor. So she said, son, sleep today. We'll talk about it in the morning. So what happened? At night, I had a dream and I could see the question paper in my dream. So in the morning, I got very much excited. I talked to my mother and I said, I've seen the question paper. Then my mother said, okay, you prepare all the questions and you'll get through. So I worked very hard, and in the morning when I on Monday when I went for the examination, I found the same paper, and I did very well and I got through. So this has been happening since my childhood. I get dreams, and all those dreams they come out true. I don't know how, but then my father was also very much interested in astrology, and he used to consult some astrologers. No, I will talk about 1986. In early 1986, he took me to an astrologer who said that I'll be visiting 5 countries in the east. And I used to work for a company, multinational company, Escorts Limited, and they had collaboration with Japan, for this Yama and Yama motorcycle, and they manufactured the carburetors also, and they had collaboration with Japan. So I told him that, look, even if my company has association in the east, my position is not such. I'm a manager, and normally the general managers and the CEO of the company, they visit abroad, and those days it was very difficult to go abroad in 1986. I said, you're talking out of your head. I will not be traveling, and I said, I will not get my passport made. Let me see how I travel. So coincidentally, what happened that my wife's cousin sister and brother, they came from Canada, and it was such that we went for some excursion, and there my brother-in-law's car was chelaged because of some violating the parking. So, and this was very close in the same city where I used to work. So my brother-in-law told me that, look, you work here and you have control here. Please manage this. So in the morning, because I was looking after the industries, I called one of the suppliers, and he told me that it's a very small job and it will be done. So this man did my job, and after 2 3 days he came and he said, you are very resourceful. Can you fix my son with a job? I said, yes, I will do it. And with the same supplier, this man got a job, and this man also knew this person, this industrialist. But all these years he could not talk to him for his son. And just on one telephone call, this man, his son got a job. He came and touched my feet, and I said, no, please don't touch my feet. He says, you are a blessing for my son, because my son has got a job. And he said, I'm the passport officer of this city. Do you have a passport? I said, no. He said, you want to get it made? I said, no. He said, no, I will get it made, because it's difficult to get a passport made, and passport must be there. So he organized everything, and I got my passport within 3 days. I was amazed. I went running to this gentleman, and I said, I challenge you that I will not get my passport made, and all this passport has been made on my table. So that means I will be going to the east. And then in a couple of months, I changed my job, and this job was, Maruti Udyog, who have collaboration with Japan for Suzuki. So, and within few months, as he said that in December 86 you will be traveling abroad, I traveled abroad. And whatever he said, it came out true. So, I was amazed that that means this science is definitely there. It is just like a mathematical calculation. 2 into 2 is equal to 4, it cannot be 5. So it got into my head, but till the age of 60, 65, I was very busy in my profession. I was literally little comfortable around the age of 62. So then I thought of learning astrology. So this was in the year 2007. So then I started learning astrology, and I could see that things, you can predict the event. So apart from being an engineer, I also started my business of cars, but slowly and slowly, I came into astrology, and my it was a hobby, and then later on this hobby got converted into a profession, and this I took seriously in the year 2015. I started my website, and I started writing articles. Now today I have written more than 700 articles in just 40 months, and all predictions before the actual happening. And self-praise is no recommendation, but if the data, the astrologer uses, if the data is correct, say for example, some event has taken place. If the event time, date, and place is correct, then the predictions cannot go wrong if you use the proper methods. But in astrology, we have, it's like a vast ocean, and there are number of methods. Nobody can say he is perfect. Every day he learns. Even if I spend 150 years in astrology, I cannot be perfect. I will keep on learning. It's a vast like an ocean. So
Yeah.
that's about it. And I have made almost 700 predictions, and I find most of the predictions are correct. If
Yeah.
that, if
Well,
that,
that's really sad.
yeah. Now, say for example, for when U.S. had the general elections, I had predicted Donald Trump would win, whereas all other astrologers had predicted for the other, what is her name? I forget.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, yeah. So they had predicted for her, but I was a single astrologer who had predicted that he will win. Similarly, demonetization in India on 8th of November 2016, that also I had predicted. And so many of them. I'm just talking about the main major ones.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this summit of Kim and Trump, I had said that it'll not be fruitful. It'll go waste. It's a waste of time. And even today, now Trump and Kim are going to meet today for dinner in the evening. That also will not bring any results. It's going to be a smoky relation, and the trade war will continue. Trade war will
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's really awesome. That is really impressive. My this interview is going to be edited down, so if any of your answers you don't feel like you answered how you want, you can just take it from the beginning too. I'm going to cut it down, and it's probably going to be cut down to about 2 minutes. So short answers are perfect.
Okay.
What is astrology?
Astrology, what happens that when a person is born, there are, about 9 planets. In fact, 7 planets and 2 luminaries. Luminaries are sun and moon, and in fact, 5 planets, 2 luminaries, and 2 nodes. These nodes actually do not exist, but they keep on moving. All these planets keep on moving, and when a person is born, all those planets, they are freezed. It's a chart of the planets moving in the universe. And when a person takes birth, all those planets get freeze. So according to the position of the planets, we can predict about the future of the person and even the
Yeah.
past of the person.
What is it about the planets that makes them able to predict?
Well, you see, the major planets, as I told you, the slow moving planets are Saturn, Jupiter, and the nodes. and then sun and moon, they become very important. There is Venus, there is Mercury, then sun, moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Venus. So all these planets, their movement is different. Say for example, sun takes, in one sign it takes about 30 from 29 to 31 days, and uh, Saturn takes about, in one sign it takes 2.5 years, and Jupiter takes about 1 year, and then Venus takes about 226 days, and Mars about 45 days in one sign, and Venus takes about 18 days, Mercury also takes about 18 days in one sign. So according to that, according to their movement, we can predict. And there are about 12 signs in a chart, and 9 planets, and then each sign has got 30 degrees. So, and then, we can divide, we have so many divisional charts. Say, for example, you want to see the marriage, then we see the Navamsha, D9. You want to see the profession, we see D10, the Dashmansha. So we want to see the disease in the horoscope, we see the D6 and D8, Shatyamsha and Ashtyamsha. So like that, for any purpose, we can use it. But you see, what happens? I will start from the basics. You see, when a woman conceives, when a woman conceives, she is on a family way. When she conceives, you see, the soul enters the horoscope from the 5th house. The 5th house is the most important house from where the soul enters, and then the development of the child takes place in the 4th house. And when the child is born, the soul reaches the lagna, the ascendant, and then the child cannot do anything. He cannot do any karmas. He cannot move. He cannot earn. He cannot eat himself. So the caretakers, the parent or the caretakers, they look after him. They educate him. They spend money for him, and then when he is educated, he starts earning. Now what happens? That means, in the 12 charts of the horoscope, only 11 houses are activated. The 10th house is not activated, because when a child is born, he cannot work, and the 10th house is your karma and your activity. So when he is not able to do that, means the 10th house is not activated. Now how we see the 10th house? For that we see the Prashna. Prashna means the horary chart, the time when a question is put. That will show what are his present karmas, and the birth chart shows what are his previous karmas. So together with aligning both the charts, you can predict a lot of things. Moreover, birth chart you cannot use it for day-to-day predictions. Like I'm talking to you, nobody can, after looking at my chart, nobody can predict that I'm having a documentary interview. But if you open the Prashna chart, it will open that I am being questioned on a documentary interview. So, adding this, and then further, they say that the birth chart, the Prashna chart, and there is another technique which is called the Ashtak Mangla Prashna. Ashtak Mangla Prashna was used by our, seers long time back. They used to, do some prayers, propitiation of all the 9 planets. They used to plan for a day, and they used to choose a number. They used to take about 108 chauris, small shells, small shells. And when the querist used to come and sit there, they used to pick up some queries in their hand, put on the left, then put another bunch of chauris, put in the middle, and then another bunch of chauris on the right. Now they used to count on the left how many chauris are there. Then you see Ashtak Mangla is 8, So you divide by 8 and you take that number. Left, middle and right. So you get a number, supposing you get a number 312. So 3 will, in Vedic astrology, numerology, number 3 will, signify a certain planet. Since we are taking 312, 1 will signify another planet. and 2 will signify another planet. So the left is the past, the middle one is the present, and the right one is the future. So by analyzing all these three numbers, we can come to a very wonderful conclusion. And they say that the Ashtak Mangla Prashna is just like going to a super specialty hospital when you have a disease, and Prashna is going to a good medical institute, and a birth chart is going to a clinic. So, but all the three, when you combine all the three, then it gives wonderful results. Most of the astrologers, the unfortunate part is that most of the astrologers, they use only birth chart, and birth chart is seldom correct because the time of birth is not recorded properly. First of all, astrology was not that predominant in earlier times. Nowadays, there are a lot of astrologers, and people have started going to astrologers. But in previous times, say for example, about 30 years, 35 years back, nobody used to see the time of birth accurately. And when you don't have the time of birth, accurate time of birth, then what happens? The divisional charts, they cannot be drawn properly. In fact, astrology is total mathematical calculation. You know, it's a total mathematical calculation. And if your time of birth is not correct, then all those charts which are made, they may not be correct. And when they are not correct, you are not able to give the predictions properly. So in that case, we start from Prashna and then go to, because Prashna, we know the time. When a person comes to you, we can exact time. So a question is born. What time the question is born? What place the question is born? Wherever the astrologer is, that is the time when the question is born. And that, according to that time, you can even rectify the birth chart. So that is how we proceed for astrology. And yeah.
Yeah. How specific do your predictions get?
Well, they are just on dot. No, say for example, I'll give you some very recent cases. 3 cases, 2 cases were for disease. Now, in both the cases, the doctors had said that there is no chances and no hope for their survival. In one case, the mother of the querist, she had gone in a coma, the brain stopped working, she stopped eating, and even you see the analysis had shown that probably before second, if she survives the 1st December or 2nd December, then she'll be okay. But you see, normally what we do is the diseases are seen from the 6th house. Now, in case of the query, the 6th house lord was Jupiter, and Jupiter right now is moving very fast. They say when the 6th lord, which is giving the disease, is moving very slowly, then the disease will not get cured fast because it's moving very slow. But if it's moving very fast, the diseases can get cured. And Jupiter in the present scenario from 28th has become very fast. Its speed has almost doubled. Normally, as I told you before, that Jupiter takes about 1 year to move from one sign to another sign. Now, right now, it is going to cover the 12 months period in just 5.5 months. So what is happening? The disease is getting cured, and surprisingly, that women who was in coma and whose brain was not working has started working, and she started talking, she started recognizing the people, and she started taking food, and she is in normal condition. I told the querist that if this condition persists till 4th of December, then everything will be okay. So this was clearly pointed out by the 6th lord. In second case, the lady was on the bed for 6 months. She had a lot of fractures and everything. But the 6th lord, again Jupiter, and with Sun is the significator for the bones, and both are together, and the 6th lord moving very fast. She has recovered, although the doctors, they said that she will need therapy because she is been on the bed. She may not be able to move. But surprisingly, she's got on the bed. I got a call only yesterday from US that she started walking. So what my point is that things can be predicted. They can be predicted to the right time and even the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great.
Yeah. In the third case, which was for a delivery, the wife of the querist, I mean, 9 months had passed, but the lady had no pains. So I told the gentleman, the querist, that since the sixth lord is in a watery sign, there is a possibility of the water bag getting burst, and it will burst around before the 1st of December, and it bursted yesterday, and I said it will be very fast because it's the sixth lord, so the delivery what was planned for probably 6th of December will take place on 1st of December, and it's going through. So all the three cases which are just very recent or are proving that astrology can pinpoint every part, everything, whether it is disease, whether it's a career, whether it's a marriage, or anything for that purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it that you love about astrology?
And the best part is, you see, when you read a chart, initially what used to happen, we used to study the chart. Now what is happening when you see the chart starts speaking itself, because you used so much used to it. The moment you see the chart, it starts speaking to you. It's something which people will not accept, but the chart starts speaking to you that this is what will happen.
Start speaking to you?
Pardon me?
It starts speaking to you?
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
as if although there is no sound, but I get to the moment I see it, it as if the planet is speaking to me.
Yeah, wow. That is really great.
And another case I will tell you, it is most surprising that on 28th, I had to buy some spare parts for my car, and I am also a car enthusiast. So another friend of mine who's also a car enthusiast, we both of us decided to go to the car market, see the car market, and buy some parts. Now, while we were chatting on the road, my friend got a telephone call. He got a telephone call, and it was secretive, of course, but I could somehow sense that there is some difficulty to the querist. And since we had gone to buy the car parts, and the car is signified by the planet Venus, so I could sense that whatever the problem is, the gentleman who has called, he is having problems regarding Venus, and regarding Venus, and then the second thing was, at that time, you see, there is a bad period in a day, and that's controlled by the north node Rahu, which is called the Rahu Kal. It was Rahu Kal, and as per the planetary positions, as I'm an astrologer, I knew that Rahu is also governing the marriage. So I asked him, is the problem, I said, sorry to intervene, when the call had finished, I said, sorry to intervene. Is it something to do with marriage? He said, yes. I said, I will now tell you that I had nothing with me, and I was just talking to him on the road. We were just chatting on the road. I told him that the problem started in July 2018. He said, you are absolutely correct. I said, I can even give you the date. The dates are between 13th of July to 28th of July. And I said, and I also told that the boy would have been born, he must be in an age of 27, bracket of 27 plus minus 1 year. And he said, yes. I said, don't tell me the age, I will tell you the exact age. I told him he's born in somewhere in June 1989. He said, you are absolutely correct. I said, when I get back home, I will even tell you the date he's born. So this is most amazing, this part is most amazing, that you do not know anything about any person, and just what is happening, what you are doing, what you are doing. If you analyze it according to that, so everything will be depicted. So later on, I wrote an article also, and I could see that he's probably born the male, the men, and the boy who's involved in the fight with his partner. He's born on 11th June 1989. So he confirmed. He said, I don't have the time of birth, but the date what you have reached is absolutely correct. He was really amazed. I've also
Yeah.
I have explained on my website, www.astrodocanil.com, how I reached that, how I analyzed everything. I had
Yeah.
also put on Facebook and I had asked people to try and attempt how I did it, but nobody could really reach it. But then I said I must write this so that the upcoming astrologers and upcoming students of astrology, they get interested that how without knowing anything about a person you can predict.
Yeah. Wow, that was amazing. Would you be able to analyze me?
Yes, why not? Yes, why not? But you see, uh, but the point is that for a query, the person has to not to put a query to check astrology. If a person has a problem, really, what happens in astrology? The moon is the fastest moving planet. It moon travels in once from one sign to another sign in 2 days, 2.25 days. It moves to three nakshatras, three constellations, and in which sign and what is the aspect on it, what is the influence of other planets on it, it reveals everything. So when a person is very much depressed about certain thing, or so at that point, no, that is the point when he puts the query to the astrologer. So the exact query and the exact answer can be seen. But if you put a question just casually, then the results may not be so. They may be correct, but they will not be as good as when there is an actual problem and the question, the query is also put accordingly.
Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, as a general prediction can be done from the birth chart. But as I told you, the Ashtak Mangala Prashna is just like a super specialty hospital. Prashna
Yeah.
chart is like a medical hospital, and birth chart is like a clinic. So I will from the birth chart I will only be able to give you the primary problems, but not the actual.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you say to people that are skeptical of astrology?
I didn't get you.
What do you say to people that are skeptical of astrology?
Yeah, you see, because you see what happens that 99.9% astrologers, first of all, they haven't been educated properly. They just read books and they start doing astrology, and then they don't use the proper methods. Like we have so many, what do you call? Jyotish and astrology ways of doing it. Like as I told you, these three, and from the birth chart is can also be analyzed by Parashar method, by Gemini method, by KP method, and by Tamil Shastra. So a person who is using all the four will be more successful than a person who's only using one. And because people don't believe in it, because 99.9% astrologers, they don't use all the methods, they do shortcuts, and the predictions go wrong. And because the predictions go wrong, people don't believe in it. But I can tell you for sure that if astrology is used globally for each and everything, a lot of problems will be solved. Like if you know when you're driving, if you know that you're going to meet an accident, so you will drive cautiously and you will not disobey the rules and regulations of the road, of the traffic. So you can escape it. But if you don't know you're going to meet an accident, you can definitely meet an accident. So
Yeah.
it definitely helps. It definitely
Yeah.
helps. I will give you
Absolutely.
some more example. I'll give you some more examples.
Yeah.
In 2013, I was in Hong Kong with my family, and my wife said that she's experiencing a lump in the left breast,
Mhm.
and simultaneously I lost my diamond ring. No, diamond is signified by planet Venus, and Venus is planet signifies marriage. And look, my wife, the better half, she's
Mhm.
having some problems. So it is indicated, the natural coincidence shows that there is going to be some problem in the marital life. So we came back, and we were just going in a pathological, we wanted to go to a pathological lab. And just then, the path, after parking my car, when we both were going towards the pathological lab, I found that cleaning the road, a sweeper cleaning the road on which we were to move. So I told my wife, I can predict things right here. She said, what? I said, you will be diagnosed with cancer, but it will be cleaned because the road on which we are moving, it was dirty.
Mhm.
The sweeper is cleaning it, and we are going to the pathological lab. So it will be diagnosed as cancer, but it will be cleaned. You will get rid of it. And exactly, and we were little impatient. Our motion, you see, a person walks normally, so then, if he walks normally and we are talking about disease, it will take a normal course. We are walking little fast, the disease will also go fast, and the result will also be very fast. So we were impatient, we are walking little fast. So I said the disease will also be diagnosed very fast, and it will get rid also very fast because we are walking fast. So that is exactly, I tell you, it exactly that what happened. So what I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you, that nature, communication with nature is very important. Not only astrology is not only a reading of the charts, but a person can even predict things by developing a relation with the nature. And what is nature? Nature is governed by all these planets. It's a ring, all these planets, they form a ring around you. And it is just like a computer. Nature has designed a computer which all these planets, nature is not doing anything. They given the command to these planets, and these planets are working according to a certain said software.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That story about your wife and her cancer. That's an amazing prediction.
Yes.
What would you need for me to do a prediction?
Well, you see, how I go about any query is that first of all, I note down the time when a person calls me up. Now, say for example, it is 9:41 a.m. in the morning, New Delhi. I will record this time. Then the second thing what I will ask him is, what is the direction he is facing?
Okay.
Direction. Why direction? Because you see, we get energy from sun. All the energy is given by sun. Is it not?
Yeah.
If sun is not there, we may probably die. So
Yeah.
the direction when a person is facing when he is putting a query, a sincere query, is very important. Then
Yeah.
third, what is the color of clothes he is wearing?
Okay.
Why color of clothes? Because the color of clothes you are wearing, they have what do you call a effect on you. Say, for example, you are wearing a black shirt. So black
Okay.
is Saturn. So the influence of Saturn. Supposing you are wearing a white shirt. So influence of Moon. Light blue, Venus. And green, Mercury. So like that, what is the influence on a person? On the upper half, lower half. Supposing lower half is black, upper half is white. So like that, you can predict. I will give you an instance. In this case, a lady called me up, and she wanted to consult me. So when I told my charges, so she was little perturbed, and she said, your charges are very high. I said, whether you consult me or not, but I can tell you the dress you are wearing. She said, how can you tell the dress? You don't know me, and there is no video call. I said, no, I will tell you. I said, you're wearing a white blouse with black spots, and the lower portion is also white. She said, yes, this is the color, exactly the color. Then she said, give me your address. I'm coming right away. Because, person gets very much impressed that I don't know her. She's not given me anything of that sort. And I
Yeah.
told her the address. How I told this was, for women, Saturn and Moon combination is very bad. Saturn and Moon combination is very bad. And the day she had put the question, Moon and Saturn were together. Saturn is black, Moon is white. And so, Moon, there was influence of Saturn and Moon, and Moon was exalted and Saturn was fallen. So, fallen planet, I don't know you will understand or not, but in astrology, Saturn planet is very bad. Fallen planet is very bad. So, Moon was exalted. That's why I said white. You are wearing white. And Saturn is very bad. So, even on the upper portion of the blouse, there will be spots of black. Spots of black means because these two planets are not friendly with each other, affect. So that's why how I said that white blouse, and you will have spots on the blouse, and the lower portion will be white because moon is exalted. So basically, she'll be wearing a white dress. And amazingly, when she came, her car was also white. Her car was also white.
Oh,
So then the color of the clothes, and then I asked a question between a number between 1 and 108 to find out the Arud Lagna. Arud Lagna, I can't explain it in English, but it is the shadow strength. Shadow strength. What is the actual strength? Supposing house number 1, the planet is placed there. House number 4, house number 1, the planet is placed somewhere. So as many houses from the house number 1, we count from the planet. So that becomes the Arud Lagna. So, then a number between 1 and 108, then a Ashtak Mangala number between 111 and 888, not using 9 and 0. Then I would ask the person, I will give a chart of Arud Navamsh Rashi, and he has to touch with a gold ring on any of the 12 houses, and there are 9 numbers in one block, so he has to tell me. So there is a prediction for that. Then he has to draw a square or a rectangle on a piece of paper and send me the image. He has to tell me the starting point, from where he started, in which direction he started, 1, 2, 3, 4, completing the square or the triangle. So according to square or triangle, even if a person makes a square, what is the prediction? And even if a person makes a rectangle, what is the answer for it? So I will answer accordingly. Then the date of birth and time. And then I will put one question also, according to the planetary position. According to the planetary position, I know the planetary position. The last planetary date, I will ask him what happened on so and so date. And definitely something would happen, so he would answer that. So there are about 15 questions which I ask, and then I proceed for the analysis.
wow. Wow, that's really awesome. So I'm facing south and wearing a blue shirt. What does that mean something?
You are facing south.
Yep.
Okay, south is controlled by planet Mars.
Okay.
South is controlled by planet Mars, and you are wearing a blue shirt. So blue is Venus. So I will see right now, Mars is placed in Aquarius, and Venus is placed in Libra. It is very strong. So you are wearing in the upper portion, the blue color is on the upper portion, so it's very good. Venus is very good. Venus from 1st September to 1st, normally Venus stays in a sign for 18 days. But this time, Venus is going to stay for 121 days. So that clearly means that there is an influence of Venus on you since 1st September, and it's a good one.
Okay, that's great. So what should I do? How do I use that information?
Well, proper analysis has to be done, and I take about 8 to 10 hours analyzing all the parameters properly and then giving the predictions. If you have any query, then we'll do it separately in a proper way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very cool. Let's see. Why is astrology important?
To know so that our life is good. I mean, at least when we know our problems, which area we lack and which area we are strong, so that we can act accordingly. What is our free will in life? What is our free will? I will tell you, life is just like a cow tied to a rope, and the cow can only go in 360 degrees around the circle. And the rope with which it is tied, the strength of the rope will signify how much movement you can do. If there is elasticity in the rope, you can make another circle. If there is no elasticity in the rope, that means your free will is less. So we can assess the free will in the chart. And supposing somebody comes to me and he says, I want to invest 1 million in my business. Can I do it? If he has the free will and the good period ahead, I will say go ahead. But if he doesn't have the free will and I see that the period is not good, I will say no, you should not. So it is very useful for each and every important event in life. One can use it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you predict that I'm gonna die in a car accident, do I have any way to avoid the car accident?
Well, you see, I will tell you, supposing I pinch you. No, these type, I've done a wrong thing. I've called you names. I've done a wrong thing. All these can be, got over. But supposing you have murdered somebody, you cannot escape it. And because of that, you are bound to face the results of the bad karmas. So they can only be lessened if you know that you're going to meet in a car accident, so you can take precautions for that. And which period is dangerous, you can avoid traveling. So like all that can be done. Like when we were born, there were no aircrafts, there were no motor cars. We used to live on the human being used to live on the floor, he sleep on the floor. But God has not restricted anything. God says, use your karmas, use your free will, and do. And try again, you will succeed at last. So, people come to me and ask for so many remedies. I say, no. Remedies, the only answer to remedies is your karma, your sincerity. Your sincerity to work, your sincerity towards the nation, your sincerity towards the family. So if all things, these three things you are doing, sooner or later you will definitely meet good fate. But provided that your previous janma karmas are also good.
Yeah, okay. So that's part of astrology, is you have to do good things.
Yes. Like you can predict a person can get a disease, like cancer or a flickering disease or a limping disease. So if you go to the doctor and start taking precautions from day one, it can be lessened. It may not be eliminated, but it can be lessened, is it not? But you see what happens when you have a disease. When you go to a doctor, when the disease comes, the doctor can only tell you when the disease comes. He cannot tell you whether the disease will come or not. So if you know the disease is going to come, so you can take, preventive measures. It's just like preventive measures. And maybe that you can even escape the disease.
Yeah, that's really great. Has astrology helped your financial life?
Yes. You see, I being an astrologer, I do everything according to astrology. I'm very particular. On this. And I have used it recently and I found amazing results. I have used it in every major event of my life, and I find that it helps a lot.
Yeah, how does it help?
Well, you see, I had predicted something for myself, and I got a dream also simultaneously. But every person may not get a dream. So I acted according to the dream, and I was successful.
Yeah.
But you have to reach that stage, of communication with nature. So it is not one day. It takes so many days, so many years to get aligned with nature. And one thing I will tell you, nature always guides you for any event in life. It gives you opportunity. Whether you avail it or not, it depends upon you. I will tell you in an instance, so many instances I've written on my website. My father's friend, he was in the police, and both my father and this gentleman, they both had the office in the same big building. He was in the CBI. So his son, at night, normally the young students, they go for movies at night, 9 to 12, normally. So he wanted to go for a movie at night, and he started his motorcycle. His dog, his pet, did not allow him to go. He tore off his pant. So he didn't go. So next day again he wanted to go, and again he did the same thing. But he went. Look, the nature had guided him not to go. It's a pet and a animal which cannot speak. He went and he met an accident and he died.
Wow.
So, what is the lesson? The lesson is that nature had guided us. Nature had
Yeah.
guided us, and not to go. We did not listen to the nature's call.
Yeah.
Then, similarly, I'll tell you another one. My neighbor girl, who was age of my daughter, she was not getting married. And 2002, I didn't do astrology, but I used to predict little bit on astrology and intuition. She asked me, when shall I get married? I said, I see Jupiter very strong in your chart, placed in the ascendant, and your third dasha lord is Jupiter, and it will get completed on 31st July 2002. I said, your engagement will take place before that, and in December you may get married. Now, and I told her that since Jupiter is placed very well, the boy in question will have a lot of money, lot of wealth, and he'll be very good looking. And since he's a Sikh, he'll be from the northeast direction. Now, what happened? She went and told her parents. Now, the parents, as usual, what happens in India, apart from love marriages, they give advertisement in the newspapers for, getting offers from prospective boys. So she got a lot of applications. In one of the application was from the same place, and the boy of the same description. She came running to me and she said, "Uncle, whatever description I've given, this application is exactly according to this." I said, "Okay." Now what happened? This happened probably in February 2002.
Okay.
So around March or April, I remember my son, who was doing his MBA course, he had come for holidays, and we were just driving out from our, driveway, and just then I found a Sikh gentleman standing outside my house. A very smart Sikh gentleman, obviously looked like he's an army officer. So I told my family, "Look, I don't have any friends who are Sikhs. So this man has come for this girl. I can sense that this man has come for some reference of this girl." So I said, "Let us postpone our going for shopping, and let us, welcome this man, because this girl is just like my daughter." So, we welcomed him, and the moment he entered our drawing room, I told him one thing, that the boy in question and the girl in question will get married. He said he thought that this man is talking out of his head. The boy and the girl have not met at all, they have not seen, and how this man is saying that they'll get married. You see, why? I'll tell you how I said they'll get married. Because if he had come 1 minute later, I would have gone. He couldn't have met me. And then after 10 minutes, he had to take a train which is just a kilometer, railway station just a kilometer from my house. So the nature made sure that he met me, and
Yeah.
and I gave a good reference of the girl. So,
Yeah.
so in fact, I didn't do anything. It was nature. It was nature who conveyed good things about the girl to this man who had come to check the reference. And
Yeah.
amazingly, 31st July, the marriage was fixed and they got married in December. I also went in the marriage, and this sixth gentleman, when I met him, he was he was wondering that this man had predicted. How he predicted? He was just,
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
That is,
how I'm telling you that nature indicates each and everything. If we keep
yeah.
our eyes and ears open and communicate with nature, at least 25% of our problems can get solved.
What should I be looking for in nature?
What is happening around you? Whatever is happening around you. If good is happening, good will happen. If bad is happening, bad can happen.
What should I do if I see bad happening?
Well, I'll give you example. When my wife got cancer, all the roads around my house they were dug for, drain pipes for rainy waters to be put. So it is negative energy, negative energy coming to my house. So I told the MLA of the our locality to solve the issue. I said, until unless these pipes are put and proper, they are covered, my wife will not get cured. And the more you delay, the more the disease will get delayed. So I found the day they completed the job, my wife also was cured. So
Wow.
the negative energies should be removed from the house. Old things should not be kept in the house. Your front portion, the energy comes from the east. Your east should always be clean.
My east?
Yes, east side of the house, because the sun rises from the east. The east side should always be clean, and you should always enter the house from east or north. North gives money.
Yeah.
North gives money. There should be no wastage of water on the north side. Water associated things should be kept on the north side. Supposing you are going to put a pump, water pump or anything, it should be on the north side, because that is wealth, the direction of wealth. And east is a direction of energy. South is a direction of node. Southwest is bad. Southwest entrance should not be good. Southwest entrance is not good. So,
Okay. Okay.
and whenever you are going for some job, you should never start from southwest. If your north node is strong in the chart, you can do it. But if the north node is not strong, then you should not start from the southwest.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's how you can use astrology. And
Yeah.
look, my dasha right now, as per my chart, I have corrected my chart. My dasha right now is Venus, Saturn, Venus. And can you believe it? It is most amazing, most amazing. My Venus is very strong, and so is my Saturn. So I bought unexpectedly in September. I bought a high segment, premium segment car. Uh, Venus is your vehicle, and Saturn is black. So I bought a black. I could make out. I was looking for a black car, and all of a sudden I came across a car which was black, and I decided to buy it, and I bought it.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah, you see, astrology can be used, but the whole point is that there should be free will in the chart. If you have free will, then you can work according to your choice. If there is no free will, then you may not be able to work according to your choice.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's a good message. How do you think Donald Trump will do in the next election?
Well, I have not looked at it, but you see, as per his dasha, the antar dasha, when we use Vimshotri dasha, this Jupiter Saturn Dasha is not supposed to be very good. Jupiter Saturn Dasha is not good because Saturn is the debilitation lord of Jupiter. So Jupiter Saturn Dasha, he may not be able to clear it. I mean, this is the primary thing I'm telling you. Although I've not seen his chart, because normally I see the things only when they are about to mature.
Yeah, okay.
And the other thing is, when I make predictions, there are a lot of people who will copy paste on their site and mislead the people. So I look at things only when when they are just about to happen.
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you talking today. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you feel like you should talk about?
Remedies. In fact, there are no remedies. The actual remedies is the communication with nature.
Yeah.
If you have communication with nature, nature will always guide you. And believe it or not, can you believe I got a dream and I could see this car with the same number plate? I bought the same car which I saw in my dream.
That is amazing.
It is really amazing. I'm really wonderstruck how all this happened.
Yeah.
And I had
Yeah.
no plans. I had no plans till 26th of August. I had no plans to buy a high segment, premium segment car. And this was all because of planetary positions. And then I got a dream, and I could see all that, and I was just amazing how all this will happen. And it happened.
Yeah. That's really amazing. That was really great.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great day today. I really appreciate you talking to me. It was an honor.
Yeah, welcome. You're welcome.
If you're ever in California too, just feel free to stay at my house.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep in touch.
All right, will do. You have a great night.
Pardon me?
You have a great night or great day today. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you. So, will you be sending me this video clip?